Hello, third grade. Mrs. Snyder here. This is our first lesson together, so I'm super excited to be here with you today. Today we're going to be reviewing some of the things that you hopefully talked about last week, the different parts of a song. So in just a second, I'm going to project a song here for you to look at, and I want you to see if you can remember any of the symbols that we have already talked about. Maybe you don't remember exactly what it is for or what its name is, but just see if you can look at this song and recognize one of the symbols that you know.
Probably the most important symbol that we're going to look at today is called the treble clef. And you'll notice there's a treble clef located at the beginning of every line of music. The clef symbol tells me what type of music I am reading. So if I'm looking at a piece of music with a treble clef, that would be a higher type of performer. So I might sing it, I might play higher notes on the piano or flute, violin, something like that. If I see an alto clef, that would mean I'm performing on my viola. If I see music that has a bass clef, that would be even lower. So something like cello, maybe lower notes on the piano, tuba, baritone, my lower instruments. So in any song that you're looking at, there will be a clef located at the beginning of every line of music. The next symbol that we're going to look at is a bar line. Bar line is not a very exciting name, but it tells us exactly what it is. It's a line that separates our song into measures. So you'll notice on each line of music there are several black lines separating the song into measures in between our music notes. On this slide, you'll see that I have numbered each of the measures for you. So a measure is simply a small section of the song. Measures are useful because if you are having an issue with one part of a song, let's say you're practicing on the piano and you're having trouble with some of the notes, your teacher might simply say to you, let's start at measure 7. When you look at this song, right away my eye goes to the number 7. If our song had no measures, all of the notes would blend together. Next up, we have the time signature. You'll notice the time signature comes right after the treble clef at the beginning of the music. Unlike the treble clef, there is only one time signature at the beginning of the piece. Now sometimes if we switch time signatures in the middle, there might be another time signature somewhere in the song. The time signature in this song, Trot Old Joe, is a little different than normal time signatures. If you look closely, you'll see it has a number 2 on top of a quarter note or ta. This is telling me that there are 2 beats in every measure, and that's something that we can double check. In the first measure, I see a beamed eighth note or TT and quarter note or ta. I know that TT and ta each get 1 beat, so that measure has 2 beats total. A normal time signature will not have a quarter note on the bottom, it will have a number 4. In just a second, we're going to practice drawing time signatures, so you'll get a closer look at that in just a second. The last symbol that we're going to look at today is called a double bar line. And just as the name tells us, it is a bar line, but double, so there are 2 of them. You'll notice the first line is a regular bar line, followed by a thicker bar line. That's telling me that the song is over. A double bar line is important because many pieces of music last for several pages. So as a performer, I'm not sure if there's more song on the next page or if the song is over. So having a double bar line is going to let me know that the song is over. I don't have to turn any pages. We're done performing. Now some songs, instead of having a double bar line, might have a repeat sign. A repeat sign is going to look exactly like a double bar line, but it's going to have 2 small dots right in front of it in those two middle spaces. In just a second, we're going to practice drawing a double bar line as well as a repeat sign.
All right, we're gonna practice drawing some treble clefs. Now, this paper I made, it's just a piece of computer paper and I just drew 5 lines on it. So if you have a piece of scrap paper at home that you can just draw some lines on quickly, I used a ruler just because I can't draw very straight. So I wanted to make sure that my lines were straight, but if you don't have a ruler, you can totally just do your best to draw your straight lines there. So if you need to do that, go ahead and pause the video, grab some paper and a pencil, and draw your 5 lines. Okay, I'm using a marker just so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. If you want to use a pencil, that way if you make a mistake or you're not happy with one of your treble clefs, you can just erase it and try again. So there's 3 easy steps that I'm going to show you to draw a treble clef. So the first step is you're going to draw a letter J. So I'm going to start actually up here above my lines. I'm going to go straight down through all of my lines, and I'm going to give my J a little curvy tail. So that would be step 1 for treble clef. Now, step 2, I'm going to start at the top of the J right here, and I'm going to do a really skinny letter P. So I'm going to turn it into a letter P, and I'm only going to come down to right there. So that's the second line from the top. I'm going to stop it right there. The last step, I like to say it's like you're drawing the letter G or almost like a number 6. So I'm going to start right here where I left off. I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom line, swoop up, and come around. And I'm going to stop right here on this second line up from the bottom. So there you have your treble clef. Step 1, we're drawing our J all the way down with our curly tail. Step 2, the top is a skinny letter P, stopping at this 4th line. Step 3, we're drawing our G or 6, whichever one you want to think, all the way down and around, stopping here at the 2nd line. Let's draw maybe 2 more treble clefs together. Sometimes I'll combine step 2 and 3 together. And once you feel more comfortable, you can do that too. And if your treble clefs aren't perfect, that's okay. Mine don't all look exactly the same. And you can always pause this video if you want to try again. So there we have our treble clefs. Some of mine are a little skinnier, some of them are a little fatter. That's okay. Like I said, they don't all have to look exactly the same. Now bar lines we're not going to practice because I know you know how to draw a line. So we're not going to practice our bar lines. The next thing we're going to practice today is our time signature. And time signature is 2 numbers on top of each other. So the first number is going to go in the first 2 lines. And then the bottom number is going to go right underneath. So if my time signature was 4/4, that would mean I have 4 beats in every measure. So for example, I might have 4 quarter notes or 4 tas, taking up that measure. And then once my 4 beats are there, I'm going to need a bar line. So again, it's just a straight line down. Now I might have a different time signature. I might have something like 3/4. So in that case, my top number would be a 3 and my bottom number would be a 4. Now instead of having 4 beats in each measure, I would only have 3. So maybe this measure, let's say I have all rests. So maybe I have 3 rests. And then I need my bar line. And let's do one more practice. Let's do a 2/4. So top number, you guessed it, is a 2. Bottom number is a 4. Maybe for this measure, I only have a half note. He gets 2 beats all by himself. And then I would add my bar line if my song was continuing. Now, if this was the end of my song, I would make this a double bar line. So for a double bar line, I'm going to have one line that's regular, just a plain line, and then the second line is going to be thicker. So I'm going to change this here and make it a little bit thicker with my marker here. So this shows whoever's performing my little song here that this is the end. Okay, now earlier in our symbols, I said that you could have possibly a repeat sign at the end of the song. So if I was making a repeat sign, I'm gonna do it exactly like this, but I'm gonna add 2 dots. So if I add those 2 dots here in my 2 middle spaces, now I changed it from from a double bar line to a repeat sign. So if I wanted this to be played again, I would add those 2 dots there.
Take a look at this piece of music and see if you can identify all of our music symbols. The treble clef goes at the beginning of each line of music. The bar lines separate the song into smaller sections. The smaller sections within a song are called measures. Pause the video and count how many measures there are in this song. If you were counting carefully, you should have counted 16 measures in total. The double bar line appears at the very end of the song, letting the performer know the song is over.
I hope you enjoyed learning about the different symbols and parts of a song. You may have seen those in first grade or second grade and kind of wondered what they were as we were learning about music. If you have any music books at home, you can look through those and you should see all of the symbols that we talked about today. I will see you all soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, third grade.